welcome back to apparently part two. Sorry about the abrupt end there. We're still talking about VR stuff. So if you missed part of the conversation, then you can go back and check that out at the end of the last video, or you can just join in here because we're kind of vaguely in the middle of it, and I don't think you'd be totally lost on what we're talking about. For those of you on Podbean, sorry about the random weird bull honky that's going on here with the trying to figure out the video version. I think this will be a lot easier once I actually buy a camera. So anyways, I was basically going and saying, talking about the Nintendo's decision to basically just add VR to some of their already existing games. And I think that would be really cool in Splatoon 2. Maybe even with that little, like, blaster thing. Because if you're just able to, you know, motion control, look around and stuff, that's how I control it anyway. You know, I love the motion controls in Splatoon 2. It's one of the most unique things about it. Just the way it works is, I feel like, even a little different than other motion control shooters like Doom and Wolfenstein. It just comes out somehow different. I can't exactly place what it is. And just the style of the game, obviously, is very extremely different from either of those games. But I think that would be a really good thing to add VR to. You know, especially if you could make it a little more one-to-one of, you know, head tracking instead of, like, kind of how it is in Breath of the Wild, where it's like you're moving your VR camera and it's not moving the same way as you because it rotates around like a camera.
Yeah, not having that dissociation really helps with say, my motion sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Any game where
I wonder how cool we look eating this pizza on YouTube in our 720p glory.
We don't look cool at all.
Probably not. It might have been a bad idea, but no going back now.
I don't give a shit. I'm hungry.
Sorry, YouTube viewers, you get to watch a fat guy and a skinny guy get more fat. Anyway, go on.
Let's see. I'm looking forward to the kind of VR where it just tracks with you, and then when you move, it moves one-to-one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like that constantly. And
yeah.
Apparently, you have things like Vive,
mm-hmm.
where you can nudge the stick and it like warps you forward, which prevents motion sickness. So, I think all of those things help.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of those things help people like me that get super motion sick playing, say, Half-Life.
Right.
Use VR.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about, say, like Ready Player One kind of setup, where it's like you're kind of in a harness that holds you in place, attached to a 360-degree rotational, like, giant trackball, basically, that tracks your, you know, leg movement and stuff, and then it's also got one-to-one. You think that would ever be a thing that would catch on?
Where it's still VR, but it's like more in depth.
Yeah.
I think so.
Do you think that's feasible to publish at a affordable price?
I think that would happen in our lifetimes.
Okay.
I think we get down the road 20 or 30 years here, and we'll find something like that, and like only $2,000, which will be like nothing,
right,
in 30 years time, and then it'll.
I mean, $2,000 isn't a whole hell of a lot now.
Yeah, but then
I mean, especially in Colorado, it's like one rent payment for a fair demographic of people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that it's possible, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just not going to be a consumer-friendly product. I feel like it's going to be restrictively expensive, and that's going to probably keep most developers from ever trying to do it for quite a long time. And then, like, even after it launches, I feel like they're going to have trouble, you know, in theory, if this ever does try to become a thing. I feel like if when it launched, hypothetically, it would have a lot of trouble catching on just because of, you know, the financial constraints of gamers. Because that's also part of the problem with VR right now, is that, like, to have a, like, pretty good VR experience, you can get, like, a PSVR, but all of the high-end VR experiences are, like, you need to have, like,
$900.
$800, $900
And then
for that equipment.
$6,000 machines.
And plus, like, a really high-end gaming PC to run that. And then, you know, it can get even more expensive if you want it wireless.
I think as time goes on and VR gets more popular, we'll have more standardized components and the price will drop.
Yeah.
Maybe that's kind of a rosy-colored view of things,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we've seen that with computers. We've seen that with pretty much video gaming in general.
Right.
Most technology tends to follow that pattern
Mm-hmm.
as it comes down and it just becomes more accessible.
Right. Cool. So is that? Do you have anything else to say on the topic of virtual reality?
Well, I do want Coma reality so that I can go in virtual MMOs and do some really weird things.
Fuck Kirito's cousin.
Yeah,
You do
that's what Coma reality.
That's the
is for.
dream. Fucking anime girls.
Get
or
there-
boys, you know, whatever you're into.
and then it turns out they're an FBI agent, which of course they fucking are.
Right? It's a crime to cyber with a.
It's a crime. Don't cyber
11-year-old.
with cat girls.
Right.
10
Okay. So let's move on to our table topic. Bum, bum, bum. I feel like we should have a theme song for our table topics and a theme song for our video game topics, but we don't. So
I mean, we
because we don't, let's drink. He'll drink to that, and I'll drink to that. Mm-hmm.
No, we could always play the 1980s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon theme song.
It's D&D!
Fighting with the legends of yo.
Oh man, now I hope they don't sue us.
Steven, I don't think he gives a shit.
Probably not. All right. So our table topic today. A couple of weeks ago, we had some interesting comments of people kind of defending class skills, which I thought was kind of interesting because, like, we agree pretty wholeheartedly that they're just superfluous. So we kind of just chat all over them, and I'm gonna do exactly that today with today's topic. And I don't know how you stand on this, but what do you think of level adjustment?
Level adjustment is a system that is they came up with something. They said this is our first plush, and then they went with it. They didn't play. If it was play tested, they didn't learn anything from it. It's not a great system. They're like, oh, people want to play monsters. Why don't we make monsters fucking unplayable? But in theory, let players play monsters.
Yeah, that might be part of it. Because, like, I almost get the theory behind level adjustment. Because, like, you know, there should be some amount of balance between the party, I think. You know, a general D&D game or what have you. But, like, in saying you're, like, a level 1 character with 8 hit dice of being a vampire lord, you are an equivalent character level 9, but you only have first level abilities. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You're worthless to the party. You've got okay hit points because they're all D8s, because they're racial, but you've got, like, even including all of your vampiric racial abilities, you're probably maybe a level 3 or 4 character equivalent in combat who has the hit points of a level 9 character.
Yeah.
You're straight up not going to have as good utility as somebody who's just a human in the same class for 9 levels.
And you don't scale. By the time everyone's level 19, you're going to be the equivalent of, like, how many levels? You're going to have 10 levels on them. You're going to be the equivalent of a level 10, 9.
Yeah. So I feel like a scaling level adjustment might work better, or something. It's something. Because I like the idea behind it, that it wants to balance things, but I don't feel that it does that effectively, even a little. Between either level adjustment or racial hit dice, I don't think either one of them is a good system.
No, they're both terrible systems. But I can suggest an alternate.
Go ahead.
And that alternate is that instead of having level adjustment, you just have level minimums. There's a certain point where being a vampire isn't going to really meaningfully contribute more than just being a human.
Right.
And that point might be at level 9.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were just saying, if you're playing a vampire, minimum level 9, or if you're playing a vampire, if you want to play a vampire at a lower level, you just have fewer abilities until you get to level 9.
Yeah, scale the abilities, or you could even kind of build the class into, like, you could actually write up a template, in theory, of like a 20 level class, quote unquote, that you level up in at the same time as you level up your actual class. So it'd be like a template that, like, okay, so you're a vampire, in theory, like, first level you can just bite people, it does damage, that's it. And like at 3rd level or 5th level, then you can suck blood and regain hit points, and at 10th level you can make people your undead minions, and some scaling shit like that, I think would really add a lot more. Actually, I really want to make a bunch of homebrew shit like this now. This sounds amazing. Let's do this later.
So not to show my own game too hard, but in my game, with the reincarnation spell, since you're drawing on a huge list of monsters that you can reincarnate a creature to, you start over at level 1, but you're a level 1 monster. So you level up as that monster. It's the whole race's class thing, but if you're a dragon, you level up as a dragon.
Right.
Which is, it kind of sounds like what you're suggesting to do with 3.5. It's like if you're
something similar to that.
If you're, instead of being a fighter, you're a vampire. Instead of being a mage, you're a vampire mage.
Right.
Who does like special vampire magic.
Actually, I feel like we could make an alternate system that was just like, as you level up in your race and your class, and just make a template for all of these things. Because like humans, at level 1 you could get like a feat in your skill points. Okay, that's sweet. And then like you could maybe get more feats at later levels, because vampires have extra blood sucking ability. Humans get this. Dwarves could get like further dark vision, or a greater constitution buff, or any number of cool things like that. A reduction to their charisma penalty. I don't know, anything like that. And I feel like you could make something like this for each race, and that would be more work, obviously, than just tacking a number on something and saying,
so it's
this gets a level adjustment of 4. You are a drow, so you are worse than a regular elf.
like,
fuck that.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, you have more hit points than a regular elf, but he's a level 5 caster, and you're a level 1 caster. So he's going to be like fireball, and you're going to be like magic missile. Oops, I'm dead. Fucking shit.
You don't need to worry about that level 5 elf. You're a drow. You got magic resistance. You need to worry about the barbarian who's going to kill you in one hit.
Right, yeah, when he, crits with his great axe for ×4 damage or something.
And you're like, I have a hit die.
Depending on his build, what bullshit
I have a
arms
D4.
and equipment is allowed. Right, yeah. There's that too. Yeah.
I actually like the leveling up as race idea. It's like a natural conclusion to how 3.5 does things. It's like, I'm a human, I level up as a human, and I'm a fighter, I level up as a fighter.
Yeah.
I'm a half-fiend, half-dragon, which is different than a half-dragon or a half-fiend.
Right.
So I level up as those things, and I'm also a sorcerer. Yeah, I feel like that would make a workable system. For a given definition of workable.
Yeah. I kind of want to come up with this whole thing now. And just like do stuff. Now we're eating fries. This will look great on that video. No. Sorry. Not sorry. with fries. It's actually good, like cheese, whatever. It's kind of
creamy
smoky.
garlic sauce.
Weird, but tasty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my next question was, could there or should there be something better? We kind of already addressed that just by talking about it. Is there anything else?
I like I'll add to the answer of this question just a little bit. I like the system that the Legend system used.
Okay.
With the tracks, where you could have racial tracks.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, you could pick a class, but you could swap out one of your ability tracks for a different ability track, so you got different things at certain levels on Level Up.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was a nice modular system that wasn't too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I know level adjustment and limiting levels of non-human characters has been a thing ever since first edition.
Yeah.
Where, no, actually, ever since OD&D,
Mm-hmm.
you had racial level limits on anybody who wasn't human.
Huh.
If you're an elf, you get to be both a fighter and a magic user, but you don't ever get to a level where it matters.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a dwarf, fuck you. You just are capped at 8th level fighter if you were lucky enough to get an 18 strength.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot more we can really say on this, but I think something would be better. You know, at least even just to balance the leveling system, like, at least give them some partial amount of the abilities that they would get if they were an ECL. Like, if you're an ECL 10 barbarian, and your buddy is you've got like 5 level adjustment and your buddy has none, your buddy is better than you, straight up, no question. Like, your racial abilities probably almost definitely don't make up for it. So maybe if you were able to get like some amount higher than your actual level based on your level adjustment, like up to like 7th level barbarian or something, just to even that out a little bit. Or like, you know, if you're a casting class, then maybe like be able to treat your caster level as your ECL, or, you know, maybe reduce your maybe not your whole level adjustment, but part of your level adjustment could count towards your caster level for actually casting and your maximum spell level and stuff like that. I feel like maybe a system could be worked there to at least add on to what's already there. But as is, I think it's just a system that doesn't work.
No, it's one of the crappiest, least thought out systems in 3rd edition and 3.5, and an edition that had many crappy, badly thought out systems.
Yeah. So that's our thought on that, which is basically, let's take a dump on it. Light it on fire and throw it in the yard.
Yep.
We hate it just as much as we hate class skills. I probably hate this more than I hate class skills.
I think, yeah, class skills, I at least feel like their heart was in the right place. Level adjustment just is shitty.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for part 2 of the video podcast, so that the video doesn't bone up on me again. So I'm going to stop it. Have fun.